Yo, what's up everybody? Today we're going to talk about Zenless Zone Zero version 2.3. And let me tell you, this update is absolutely packed with hype from Lucia and Yidhari and some upcoming characters that we haven't known yet. And let's not forget about the reruns on this version. They can completely change your account, and of course, the age-old question, who should you pull for? To answer this question, you will need to know their gameplay, their kits, and many more, so stay tuned until the end, because I'm going to share my thoughts on long-term value and who's really worth your limited resources in version 2.3. So let's get into it. A big thanks to LD Shop for sponsoring this video. Looking for the cheapest top-up deal for your Zenless Zone Zero account? Well, LD Shop has you covered. They let you enjoy 22% off discount for your monochromes. Just head over to ldshop.gg, pick your language, log in, then click Zenless Zone Zero. The site only requires you to put UID and server. To show you how easy it is, I'll top up 300 monochrome bundle. Once that's done, you're all set. In about 5 minutes, log back into Zenless Zone Zero and your monochrome should be there. Take note, all first top-up double bonus can be activated at ldshop.gg. New users get a sweet deal, a 10% off welcome coupon, and plus, if you're using my link, you will get an extra 5% off, saving you up to $50. And if you're a Giga Chad spending over $80, LD Shop gives you VIP status and a free internet subscription. So if you're trying to pull that S-rank agent or just stack resources, click my link below and start saving today. Huge shoutout to ldshop.gg for sponsoring this video. First up, let's go and talk about Lucia, a brand new Ether support that is going to be in the next patch. So basically, in this one, if you got Yishuan or are you going to pull for the future Rapture agents, this girl is a must-have, or at least a high-value pick for your account. So fun fact, she's basically the third limited S-rank support we've seen in Zenless Zone Zero, after Astra Yao and Yuzua. Those two were made for their own respective team. For example, Yuzua is for the Anomaly team and Asriel is for Quick Swap or Dual DPS. And this time for Lucia, she's going to be the enabler for Rapture or a support for Rapture teams. Her big selling point is that she provides penetration strength buff and skill off her max HP, which is pretty rare on Zenless Zone Zero. She's meant to replace Panyinhu, which is the panda, who's only an A-rank agent. Now let's talk about her kit in simple terms. Her attack summons ethereal figures that slash enemies with ether damage. Each time she lands big hits, she generates something called Dream Points. And when she builds enough Dream Points, she enters the Dream State, which powers up her attacks and lets her share the buff with the team. The most interesting part of her kit is her X special attack. Her X special attack deals strong ether damage, but not only that, she also applies a buff called Sheer Force, which means this buff boosts her Wu squad's offensive power, especially if you got Yishuan or other Rapture DPS, and even scales higher the more HP Lucia has. On top of that, she can give the team extra survivability by increasing their max HP. Her ultimate is basically a big ethereal charge forward that ends with giant explosion. And here's the important part. It leaves behind an area on the ground that heals your Wu squad team over time. So yes, she's not just a buffer but also a healer. So that is an extra survivability for you everybody. So that's cool. So next up, her core passive. Her core passive makes her even better. Whenever she triggers a certain skill, she can give her allies a buff called First Attack, which increases team damage by 20% for a short time. Combine that with her natural healing and penetration buff, and you're looking at a character who turns Rapture team into an absolute monster. So the bottom line about Lucia is that if you're building a Rapture squad around Yishuan, she's practically a guaranteed pull. She's a limited S-rank agent, she buffs, she heals, and sustains your team. She's a future-proof for a long time if you're going to build Rapture squad, or maybe you already have Yishuan, so if you're trying to build a team for Yishuan, this is actually great for you. Now let's go and talk about Yidhari. So to be honest, I think she's on the top spot right now if you got Miyabi, Yugo, or Ellen Joe. But the good thing is that she's a Rapture DPS, so yeah, let's go and talk about her kit. Her gameplay is actually really unique for Zenless Zone Zero character. Yidhari sacrifices her own HP to charge up a huge hammer attacks. The lower her HP gets, the more damage she deals, and she even gets damage reduction when she's low. So she's that high risk, high reward kind of character that hardcore player loves. So if you like high risk, high reward gameplay, well, Yidhari is actually good for you. Her charge hammer attack is her bread and butter. She can hold the button, lose HP, and then unleash devastating ice strikes. At max charge, she even spins around like a human Beyblade and then slam down for a finishing blow. Now let's go and talk about her X special attack. Her X special attack gives her big burst of ice damage while restoring some of her HP that she lost. She can also trigger extra follow-ups if she clashes with enemy attacks or hits stunned enemies. And those skills come with healing and shielding, so she's not as fragile as she sounds. So what makes Yidhari actually step up to other ice DPS? The real answer for that question is her core passive. All of her ice damage gets converted into something called sheer damage, which ignores defense of the enemy. This means her attack always hit hard, no matter how tanky the enemy is. And the lower her HP goes, the higher damage buff climbs, all the way up to 80% bonus damage at critical health. She also buffs her allies' max HP whenever she triggers the Ether Veil. So if you're looking for a Rapture DPS to pair with Lucia, Yidhari is an insane option. She hits extremely hard and has a great synergy with supports and scale off HP in a way that makes her unique compared to the rest of the Zenless Zone Zero characters. The only thing that I know some players are going to be skeptical about her is that if you already have a god-like build with your Miyabi or Ellen Jo. Because yeah, she's on the ice attribute like Miyabi or Ellen Jo or Yugo. But anyways, remember that she's a Rapture DPS that can actually ignore the defense of the character or the enemies. Okay, now let's go and talk about the reruns. First off, Vivian. She's one of the most fun character in Zenless Zone Zero for me personally. So now let's go and talk about her kit. Her kit revolves around generating feathers, switching states, and converting them into a bloom procs, which basically means she's dishing out extra anomaly damage whenever her team applies debuff. In simple terms, Vivian is the queen of multiplying your team's anomaly damage. If you have another anomaly DPS like Jane Doe, Grace, or other like those characters, she turns their number into something truly scary. Her biggest strength is that her flexibility. She doesn't have to be on the field all the time, and she can support any anomaly team by boosting their damage output. But the catch is that she requires a lot of setup, generating feathers, converting them, then swapping out. I think that's not hard though, but yeah, she's a good pick if you're building an anomaly team. So make sure that you guys avoid FOMO if you're already building a team. For example, if you're still building anomaly team, go for Vivian. But if you're building for Rapture, go with Lucia and Yidhari maybe. So Jufufu, the Fire Stunner. Let's talk about Jufufu. So if you're new to the game or just need a strong stunner, Jufufu is super amazing. She works off-field by throwing her popcorn pots, which explode and deal stun damage while also giving your team buffs. So basically, she's easy to use and has a fun gimmick that pairs well with other DPS or stun-oriented teams. So if you don't have a stunner that was built like if you don't have lighter or something, I recommend Jufufu because she gives buff. She also is super easy to use as a stunner agent. So yeah, I think it's a good option for getting Jufufu if you don't have stunner. But anyways, what do you guys think? We got a good amount of free run characters in this patch. So a quick advice for newbie or mid game or end game maybe, please don't fall to the FOMO. If you're thinking about, yeah, Rapture agents are coming left and right, I think I need Rapture agents. But guys, did your account really need them? Like for example, if you're still building your anomaly agent and you lack of Vivian or something like that, go with the full completed package. Like if you're building for anomaly team, complete your anomaly team first before going and spreading your resources in the game. So if you're pulling, there's no bad choice in this patch because the rerun characters are super nice, including the new agents that is coming out, which is super great. Yeah, what do you guys think? Who are you going to pull? Comment down below. But anyways, that's all. Have fun, subscribe and like for more updates like this. Thank you very much for watching. Peace out.